Augsburg, and I'm one of the chairs for Coalition for Student Activism, and we're one of the organizations that started to organize this event. This is a rally in the morning with music and food, have people know about global climate change and know what they can do to stop it. So we're having a bike ride to the Capitol to a rally.
My name is FENTON, and I'm the Education Program Manager for the Will Steger Foundation. I'm thrilled to be here at the Minnesota State Capitol in St. Paul, Minnesota for our Minnesota 350 International Climate Day of Action. And this is one of many, many events, thousands of events happening around the globe today, calling for strong action on climate change solutions. Behind me are hundreds of bikers that have showed up for this event. We have speakers including Congressman Keith Ellison, Congressman Betty McCollum, State Senator Ellen Anderson, and more, as well as youth climate speakers speaking on behalf of the need to take action now and pass a strong climate bill this fall, getting ready for the international climate negotiations in Copenhagen. Welcome to our Minnesota 350 Climate Day of Action. Let's give it up. Woo!
I just wanted to share with you a letter that the senator sent to me yesterday that she wanted me to read with to all of you. Dear Will, Abby, and friends, thank you for inviting me to today's 350 International Day of Climate Action. While I'm unable to join you in person, I appreciate the opportunity and thank you for bringing awareness to the crisis of climate change and advocating for the policies needed to address global warming. First, I want to congratulate my friend Will Steger for all his work on behalf of all of us. The atmospheric concentration of carbon remaining over 350 parts per million is unsustainable. That's why our dedication to comprehensive climate change policy is essential. The science is clear, the stakes could not be higher, and the time to act is now. Keep up the great work. Sincerely, Senator Amy Klobuchar. We're coming up on Copenhagen, and she's excited about the opportunity to make sure that Minnesota has a voice at the table in those discussions, and she's obviously always been a good friend of Will's, and Will has always been a good friend of hers, and the foundation has. She looks forward to working with Will on those issues as we get closer and closer to Copenhagen.
We can power this whole world based on the energy we got right here. I'm telling you, it's good. The fact is, we have got to go to the world stage in Copenhagen with a strong statement from the American people about our commitment to cut carbon. I feel a groundswell of climate justice energy. I feel it all over the place. I feel it from the seniors, from the young people. I feel it from the blacks, the whites, the Latino, the Asian. I feel it from the Muslims, the Christians, the Jews, the Hindus, everybody. I feel it all over this country, and I feel it really strongly right here.
We have done great work in Minnesota. We have one of the strongest renewable energy laws, one of the strongest energy efficiency laws in the nation. We have a great law that says we're going to reduce global warming emissions 80% by 2050, and we're going to start in 2015 and 2025. We're not going to wait. We're all here today because we believe we need to change the world. And the only way to fight back against a gigantic political spin machine is with people.
Thank you again for being here today on the biggest day of climate change action in history all over the world. 4,600 events, more than 4,600 events, in more than 175 countries.
Everybody has a part to play in this world. Everybody has a purpose. And if we want to stay here and continue thriving as a civilization, as humanity, then we need to work together and solve all the problems that we share.
President Kennedy challenged us to send a man to the moon and beyond and to bring him back home within the decade. And he later, the next year, said he has set that challenge for us not because they're easy, but because they are hard, because they test the limits of who we are, because they test the limits of what it means to be an American. That is the challenge today. We aren't sending people into a vacuum out in space. We are changing our economy to mean a more prosperous future for America, to mean jobs for you for the future, where you can feel good about the work that you do every day. And I can tell you what our greatest natural resource is in the United States and in Minnesota. It's you. It's the people of this state, it's the people of this country, and it's our innovation. So let's tap into that great natural resource, and let's make Minnesota and the United States a leader in the clean energy economy globally.
So often, when we know what's happening and we know what's going on in terms of climate change, it's so easy to feel despair, to feel overwhelmed and think, what can we do? We can create the solutions that we need. If we don't have a path, we make a path. If we don't have a road, we make a road. And we can do that together. And I just want you to know that you have more power than you could ever imagine. You have more power than you could ever imagine to do something about this. I'll be going to Copenhagen with the Will Steger Foundation and a delegation of 10 youth delegates from across the Midwest. And we're hoping to come up with some really strong climate solutions there. We'll be meeting youth from across the world. We'll be starting with an international youth conference, and at that conference I'll be meeting people who are engaged in these same issues from India, from Europe, from Africa, from South America, from all across the world, and we're going to come up with a platform and bring that to the UN. And I think that's the only way we're going to accomplish this, is working together.
In the next month and a half before the world meets in Copenhagen, we need to see federal action on climate change, because the world needs the United States at the table to help lead this effort. And we need your help to do that. And this is one of those actions: contacting your congressman, contacting your senators, contacting your governor, contacting your state elected leaders, and getting out and talking to all of your neighbors will make that difference. So thank you for being here, and commit to taking the next step of action of letting your neighbors and your elected officials know, and continue to work for this, because we need to fight climate change. We have one chance on our one world with our one sky, and that one chance is now and in the next 4 to 6 months. Thank you.
Attention all young Americans. Your climate future is being decided in the cloakrooms of the Capitol right now, where the coal lobby holds huge sway. You want to make a difference? Then get off Facebook and get into somebody's face. Get 1 million people on the Washington Mall calling for a price on carbon. That will get the Senate's attention. Play hardball or don't play at all.
So now the time for debate must be over. It's over in the House, and now it's moved to the Senate. The Senate must act, and it needs to act soon. This is not going to be easy for the Senate to pass the bill this year. We need your help. They need to be encouraged to do so. Our immediate task is building up the political will for action. This is the moment for each and every one of you to act, to get informed, to talk to your friends, to talk to your family, to talk to your neighbors, not just here in St. Paul and Minneapolis, but in Minnesota, in Wisconsin, and the other connections that you have all around this country. You tell them that you will not let our country back down from what it knows is a justice responsibility to change, to act, and do something about climate change. You tell them that the United States should be leading the world, and you want to hold our country accountable to do that.
We have one world, one sky, one chance. So get out there and take action. Let's do it. We can create the future we want to see.